Jy luister na RSG Geldsaake met Moneyweb potgoeie met gasheer Ryk van die Kerk. RSG Geldsaake met Moneyweb. Elke weeksaand tussen 6 en 7.
Die Suid-Afrikaanse toerisme sektor is weer besig om te blom. Gedurende die eerste 11 maande van die jaar, van verlede jaar, het 7,6 miljoen toeriste Suid-Afrika besoek en dit is 'n stewige 51% hoër as in 2022 en is ook heelwat hoër as die internasionale toename van sowat 22%. Nou die toerismebedryf verteenwoordig tans sowat 3% van die Suid-Afrikaanse ekonomie. Dit is egter heelwat laer as die 8% wat dit tussen 2012 en 2014 tot die BBP bygedra het. Nou, sowat 75% of 5,7 miljoen van die toeriste kom uit Afrika en die oorblywende 1,9 miljoen van oorseese markte. Reisigers van Duitsland, Brittanje en Amerika het sowat die helfte van die toeriste uitgemaak wat van buite die vasteland kom. Tandiwe Matibela is op die lyn, sy is van SA Toerisme. Tandiwe, thank you so much for your time tonight. It seems to be a good recovery from international tourists, but how close are we to pre-COVID levels?
We are edging very, very close. Actually, good evening to all the listeners, and thank you so much. I like the phrase that you used, besig om te blom. I loved it. Just to say that we are 17% lower compared to the same period in 2019, which was before we had the COVID-19 pandemic. But certainly our growth is really, really great. We are sitting at a 51.8% increase for figures between Jan and November 2023 when you compare us to the same period in 2022. So we are very optimistic about reaching those COVID numbers very quickly. And this is just the international arrivals. Domestic-wise, we've far surpassed the pre-COVID-19 numbers.
We're going to talk about the domestic market in a minute. The split between African and overseas tourists is 75%, 25%, which in many ways makes sense because South Africa is the economic giant in Africa, or at least we've got a very, very big diversified economy. How has that split how does this split compare to pre-COVID levels? Is it close to this 75-25%?
Absolutely close to that. The African market has always been the one that gives us the lion's share of the tourist arrivals to our country. So it's definitely on trend. The numbers is obviously a bit higher now because we've also done some work in terms of ensuring that we continue to attract, or rather make traveling to South Africa more accessible for a lot of the visitors coming from the rest of the African continent as well.
Let's talk about the domestic market. You said it has exceeded pre-COVID levels. Can you give us a few stats?
Yep. When we measure holiday trips, which are trips that people take specifically to go on holiday, because we know historically South Africans will travel between provinces to also visit family and friends. But if we just look at holiday trips between January and September 2023, we've had 8.8 million domestic holiday trips. That is an amazing number. We've contributed greatly into the South African economy. If you look at the contribution of the domestic market between January and October, when you look at those figures, they are really awesome figures. We are looking at a figure of around 130 billion. When we look at all the trips that are taken by domestic travelers. And this is very important for us because we need to thank the South Africans, for continuing to travel their country because they definitely contribute to our country's economy.
Yeah, I think that's one of the benefits of having such a weak rand. It's becoming very expensive to travel abroad. But just lastly, as I've said earlier, the tourism industry represents around 3% of South Africa's GDP. It was around 8% a decade ago, and it would be fantastic if we can get back to 8% because the tourism industry can, virtually explode or grow a lot quicker than many other industries. How does the South African government market South Africa in other countries to try and attract more tourists to come here?
Absolutely, I agree with you. We definitely can grow those numbers and we definitely can contribute more to the economy. One of the first things that we need to do, we need to respond to what travelers are looking for. So we use a lot of our insights to make sure that we respond to what travelers want. We also need to obviously use technology to accelerate, our appeal. And what we do as an entity, South African Tourism, to be specific, is that we have got country offices in various markets. We do have focus markets, which are our core markets. And then in those markets, we ensure that we nuance our messaging. Obviously, the messaging in terms of South Africa as a brand, in terms of tourism, is consistent across all our markets. But we make sure that, we give, as an example, the Indian traveler the information that the Indian traveler is looking for, as opposed to doing a blanket approach. That's very important. But we also attend, trade shows where we actually represent our country, where we know that we can find strategic partners who are then able to package South Africa so that we are even closer to the consumers that are looking to come to South Africa. Another great aspect of the work that we do is the business events industry, where we go to market South Africa as a capable destination for hosting big events, because as you know, big events will bring large numbers at any given point in time. So that is what we do. Those are some of the strategies that we apply. But also we collaborate with the sector here. We partner so that our messaging is consistent across various touch points.
Tandebe, dankie vir jou tyd vanaand. Dit was Tandebe Matibela, sy is van SA Toerisme, en dit is goed om te sien dat die Suid-Afrikaanse bedryf met meer as 50% groei, terwyl die internasionale gemiddeld 22% groei is. Dit lyk daarom asof daar iets werk.
Jy het geluister na RSG Geldsaake met Moneyweb Potgoe elke weeksdag om 7 namiddag. Vir meer Moneyweb Potgoe, besoek moneyweb.co.za of laai die toepassing af en volg Moneyweb News om dagliks op hoogte te bly.